recorded on the computer too?
I got it. Got it. The recording is starting. The recording is starting. Okay, hello everybody. Hello.
Okay. So welcome to the 30th session of the Bhagavad Gita with interlude from Machine Learning. Today is the 26th of June. So last session we started chapter 5. So chapter 6 is the Dhyana Yoga. So chapter 5 is the yoga of renunciation, which is the sannyasa yoga. So renounce and rejoice. That was the message. So before that, we briefly talked about a famous quotation from a famous personality, Henry David Thoreau. He is a poet, he is an essayist, he is a philosopher. And then we covered the second sloka from the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which is said by Lord Krishna. Sannyasa karma yogascha nishreya sakaravubhav tayostu karma sannyasat karma yogo vishishyate. So the meaning is the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, devoted work is better than renunciation of work.
So, we were talking about something this morning about whether is it okay to like everything or just have no feelings for anything at all? Isn't this shloka kind of saying that liking everything equally is better than not liking anything at all and just saying, you know what, I don't care?
Yeah, taking interest and liking as many good things as possible. So that's a path of karma, of action. If you don't like anything, if you just get dejected, it's a path of renunciation. But yeah, you're right. This sloka is saying that the path of action is taking interest in many things and doing them right is better than not doing anything and just renouncing everything. So we talked about a number of examples in the last session to convey that. And today's sloka is the 10th sloka from the same chapter. So it goes like this. This is a very important sloka. You have to tell me why this is an important sloka after listening to it. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyatena sapapena Padma patra mivambhasa. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyatena sapapena Padma patra ivambhasa. So the meaning is, he who dedicates his actions to the spirit without any personal attachment to them, he is no more tainted by sin than the lotus leaf is wetted by water. So this is the formal meaning. So, okay, let us look at the meaning of each and every word. Brahmani is coming from the word Brahma, which means God, the Supreme Personality. Adhaya means resigning onto, just giving up, or yielding rather. Karmani means all works. Karma, work, action. Sangam means attachment. Sangam means united rather.
Attached.
Yeah, attached. So Sangam Tyaktva means Tyagi. Remember Tyagi?
Sacrifice.
Yeah, sacrifice or giving up. Karoti again is action. Kara means Karoti means performs. Yaha means who. Lipyate means affected. Na is same word as in English. Never. Saha means he. Papena. Papa, you all know in all Indian languages, pap is sin. Padma means
A lotus.
lotus flower is called Padma. Patra means leaf. So patram means leaf in Indian languages. Iva means like.
Like
Ambhasa. Ambu means water. Ambhasa means in the water. So basically, if you're not attached to your own actions, then sin will not touch you, just like water does not touch a lotus flower. So why is this sloka important? It's a very important sloka. Why is it?
Well, is it because there's a simile about the lotus?
Yeah.
And we don't see those a lot in shlokas. Like an example.
See, what are some of the common Indian names?
Well, the most common ones are Parvati and Padma because they're in
Harry Potter.
yeah, they're in Harry Potter too.
See, Padma, right? Parvati and Padma is said. Padma is one such name, which is very common, which is known to J.K. Rowling also, right? The UK author. So Padma is such a famous name. Any other names that come to your mind?
Kamala Harris.
Kamala, that's right. The Vice President of the United States today. Kamala. Any other names?
Krishna, Rama, and a few other Dashavatas.
Ram, not Rama.
Yeah, those are names, but typically, did you hear Rajiv? Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister of India a few years back. So Rajiv is a very common name. Neeraj. Did you hear any Neeraj name? Yeah, Neeraj is also a common name.
What about-
Pankaj.
We've
I've
heard
heard-
Pankaj.
Huh?
Yeah.
We've heard of Pankaj.
Yeah. Pankaj is also a very common name. How about Aravind?
Yeah, that's
It's
very,
very,
common.
very common.
It's very common. How about Nalini?
Not as much.
Nalini is also a common name. In fact, the person who killed Rajiv Gandhi, her name is also Nalini. So how about Saroj?
Kind of common.
Yeah, Kunal.
I've seen it, not heard it.
Kunal?
Kunal, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I-
Kunal or
Right?
Kunal.
Or seen it.
Yeah.
If all of these are lotus,
So yes, these are all the names of lotus in Sanskrit. Another name is Ambuja.
I've heard of Ambuja.
I
Yeah,
haven't.
Ambuja is also a common name.
Isn't lily also a Western name that also means like a water lily?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Lily is also the same family, right? And so all these names, why are these names so common in India?
Well, we learned about like a little, we learned about how a lotus is like gold and it's always pure. So is that why they're so common? Like you want somebody, your children, to be pure and good hearted. So you name
Yeah,
them after
exactly.
something that is pure or good-hearted.
Exactly. So typically the Indian names have a history, they have a meaning. And one of the common reasons for the Indian names is because the parents want their child to bear those qualities.
Did the child like already show those qualities?
Sometimes.
Expected, yeah, sometimes. Some kids do, some children don't.
But it would be
So
hard.
naming is one of the samskaras. Naming ceremony, there are some samskaras that every human life has to go through according to Sanatana Dharma.
Like the Akshara one?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Aksharabhyasam is one of them. Karna Veda, which is boring holes in the ear.
Ear piercing.
Yeah, ear piercing, that's right. Ear piercing is another samskara.
And the haircut one?
The haircut one is another samskara. So like that, there are a number of samskaras. And one of the samskara is the naming ceremony. So naming is not casual in Sanatana Dharma. Name carries a lot of weight. So there are some conventions, there are some standards, and there are some norms for naming a child. Based on the nakshatra the child is born, the name should start with certain letters and things like that. So naming is a very big thing. And typically, the parents want their child to show certain qualities. So that's one of the reasons why the children are named like that. Right? Of course, there are different reasons. The other reason is that they like that name. And the third reason is like they want their parents' name to somehow come into their child's name. Like my grandmother and my grandfather, they wanted their son to be named after their fathers. So they came up with a funny name for him, which did not stand. So naming is it's a whole big thing in India. And Pankaja, Pankaj, Neeraja, Neeraj, Aravind, Nalini, Saroj, Kunal, Kamal, Kamala, Padma, Rajiv, Ambuja. So these are all names of lotus flower. And the parents gave this name knowingly or unknowingly, hoping that their child will show those qualities. So what are those qualities which make lotus flower such an important flower or such an important thing in this world?
It never gets dirty, even though it lives in sometimes murky and muddy waters.
Yes. See, lotus takes birth and constantly stays in water. So if you pull it out of the water, it dies, right? It becomes dried up, right? In spite of so much attachment, I mean, in the sense, the physical attachment, right, with water, it does not get wetted by water.
It's waterproof?
Yeah, it is waterproof. You can see if you drop a drop of water standing on the lotus, you can clearly see the boundaries of the drop. So it does not touch. Suppose you dip a paper in the water, what happens? It becomes wet, right?
Yeah.
Crumpled and wet and all that. If you put your hand in the water, your hand becomes wet. You have to wipe it with a cloth, right? You take many other things, they get wet.
Aren't all the flowers waterproof?
Not really, right?
No.
Not so much. They
Like
absorb
rose
water.
petals, they get wet.
Yeah, they absorb water. So, but lotus does not absorb any water. It does not get wet, in spite of its physical attachment to the water.
A lotus also floats despite the pull of the water.
Yeah, that's the
It's
other
very
thing. Yes.
optimistic.
Yes, it's very optimistic. It always floats. Good thinking. It always floats. It never sinks into the water, right? So these are the qualities that are necessary and that are ideal for a human being. See, the human being is born into the nature, right?
Yeah.
So we constantly stay in and interact with the nature or the world through our actions, right? So just like the lotus flower, I mean, without the nature, we are nowhere. Just stop the oxygen for 5 minutes, the life is gone, right? So we are so much attached to nature physically, but mentally, we should not be attached to nature so much. There are many examples. Even today, there are many people in India who just give up everything and wander about in the hot sun, in the cold weather. They do penance in the Himalayas, in the coldest of the cold weathers, without clothes, proper clothes, right? So they don't care. I mean, they're hardly impacted by the nature. Nature does not impact their mind. See, it's all in their mind. It's all in our mind. See, it's in freezing temperatures. You can see some people wearing fully clothed, fully covered jackets, thick jackets, leather jackets, and all. And there are some people who just wear a simple cloth, like when the sages are today we don't call them sages, we call the preachers, right? So not, yeah, okay, we can take the example of priests. So the priests just wear one single cloth, unstitched cloth on their body.
Like Ganesha.
Yeah, even in freezing temperatures. So it's all in the mind. It is not in the body actually. The cold, the fear, the shiver, it's all in the mind.
Yeah, because the mind is what makes you feel and like do.
Yeah, exactly. So you can refuse to take that perception. See, in neural networks, we were talking about neural networks, right? It's all about how you perceive things. So if there is noise in the data, you can ignore it, right? Same thing with human beings, with the mind. The human being is capable of ignoring noise. It can just ignore noise. It can think that the shiver or the coldness, cold weather is just a noise. See, unless somebody goes through hypothermia, I mean, there's a condition called hypothermia, extremely cold conditions for a long time. So that's when the body starts to suffer. Until then, it's your mind which is making you suffer. See, when you take cold water bath, you don't feel like doing it. Just try it once.
But after you do the first, like after you do it for a little while, it doesn't feel that cold anymore.
That is one thing. And the other thing is, it doesn't impact you. See, when I take cold water baths, when I go to the shower, the first 2 minutes, it's really painful. It's shivering. I mean, it's really painful. But when I come out, it doesn't cause anything. It's just the time that I was in the shower that I feel the coldness. I feel a little odd. But once I come outside and wipe myself and get dressed and become normal, I don't feel the cold. Right? So it did not impact me. What does that tell you? So the coldness of the water is impacting only your mind.
Because of the sudden change.
Yeah, because of sudden change, because of your psychology. So you tell yourself, that is the reason why sankalpam is so important, right? You tell to yourself, now I'm going to take a cold shower, cold water shower, and I'm not going to shiver. I'm not going to react wildly. I'm not going to feel the pain. I'm just going to take deep breaths, and I'm just going to think that it is just another shower. If you tell that sankalpam in your mind and take the cold water bath, you no longer feel bad about it, because it's anyway not impacting your body. So the human body is really great. God has created us in such a great manner that the body can stand a lot and lot of things, but it is the mind which is causing all this. It is not even the mind, it is the attachment. You get attached to the warm water baths so much that taking a cold water bath is painful to you. You get attached to the bright sunny weather that going into the cold weather makes you shiver. It is the attachment of your mind, not the body, that is causing you to suffer. Every suffering, that is the conclusion that Buddha gave to the world after a lot of work, a lot of efforts. He concluded that it is the mind which is making you feel all the pain. See, he gave up all his great belongings, right? He had a great family, loving family. He had a rich heritage. He was respected widely. He was born into a great family. He was a king. He was a king's son. He had everything that a person would want from the life. But still he gave up everything. And at the end, also, he did not take anything. See, so he was so unattached. His mind was so unattached to the world, to the nature. So that is the reason why we should remain unattached, just like the lotus. So we should never get attached to the actions or to the results. So I'm taking a lot of efforts to prepare for this class and give this class and all that. People may watch, people may not watch. I'm continuing, right? It is the 30th, we have been doing this for many, many weeks. Just for the Bhagavad Gita, it is the 30th session, right? So we are going, we should do our duties, right? If it is good and if the people like it, and see, it's both ways, right? The lesson should be good and the people should deserve the lesson also, right? So it's that, but we should not think about those things. But the idea is basically we should not get attached to our actions or to the results. Research, when you do PhD, that concept gets reinforced in you. There are so many rejections. Why only PhD? You take marketing, sales. We talked about marketing and sales organization, right? When we talked about software industry last time. So it is very hard to sell something to someone, right? It is very, very hard. People don't believe, people don't have time. See, I attend some conferences. I really feel pity for them, but I can't help it. I get calls and emails and messages, and people do all sorts of things. LinkedIn invites and all sorts of things.
For what?
To sell their products. So,
but once the business gets started, won't it kind of continue like that if it's a good business?
Yes, but there are a lot of businesses which are not yet established. They have to sell hard. Until you get that name, you have to keep on pushing. your product, your whatever you want to offer, you need to push.
The
So
way you can do that is by giving like big products for like really less money.
that's
So
right.
then you become popular. Everyone's like, oh my god, this store is
Yes.
good, and then start increasing the price because your customers won't want to lose you.
Exactly. So that is one a good strategy. So
So-
you're a good businessman. You're a good marketing person. So that's right. That is one of the business strategies. There is something called as loss leader.
like supply and demand.
Yeah, supply and demand is the norm of
At first,
pricing.
there's no demand.
Yeah, you have to create the demand. That's right. Good thinking. Yes, you have to create the demand. Supply and demand. You have to create the demand to be able to supply more. So that is where the struggle is, right? You're right. There are many strategies that the marketers adopt. There's a book, I think I told you about the book, right? Kotler. Philip Kotler is a great marketing philosopher. His books are really very easy to read, very interesting, and very important also. They talk about the strategies to market. And one of the strategies is loss leader. Loss leader is when you sell something at a loss so that you can win the market. So if you see the advertisements, the flyers of stores, Safeway, Albertsons, may not be Costco, but some other stores, some of the prices are really unbelievable. So it will take much more to produce those products than they are charging. So they are actually incurring a loss there. But why do they still sell those products at a lesser price? That is called the concept of loss leader. They want to lead by incurring a loss on certain products. So because of that product, you go to the store, you want to buy the product at a cheaper price. But when you're anyway going to the store, will you go to buy just the grapes to a store? Never, right? When you go, you buy the entire grocery set, all the groceries you buy. So the price that the shop is losing in grapes, see, grapes are sold for 99 cents a pound, which is really very cheap. Why? Because grapes are in great demand. Wines are made from grapes, right? So grapes are in great demand. So the cost to produce, cost to sell is really high. The supply is high. I mean, the demand is high compared to the
Grapes are
supply.
expensive.
Grapes are expected to be expensive, but they still sell it for 99 cents. So that we go to the store, we buy the grapes, we pay less for grapes, but we buy the remaining groceries, cauliflower at 199 when the cost was just 99 cents. We pay $1 more for the cauliflower, right? And we enter the store and we find something really fresh. We try to buy Brussels sprouts, for instance. That's like $3.99 a pound. So you buy Brussels sprouts, they make $2 profit there. So the loss that they incur for grapes is nothing compared to the profit they make on the other products, right? So that is called the loss leader.
But then people won't buy Brussels sprouts from that store. They'll buy grapes from that store and buy everything else somewhere else.
Yeah, some people do that, but such people are very few. Because time is important, right? For you and me, for people who have active jobs, who are active students, time is really important.
What about the people who don't like grapes or any grape product?
Then there are other products on which
like
the other products, right? Sometimes you get broccoli for 49 cents an LB. That's a throwaway price. That's a loss to the store. So that is the reason why the coupon book has a number of items listed, not just one item. So that is the concept of loss leader.
But I thought, don't some stores buy the veggies and things from another store?
Yeah, that's right.
So when you do that, aren't you supposed to make the selling price less than how you bought it?
No.
Mark up.
Mark up. How will they make money? They mark up. Anyway, we'll talk about those things when we talk about software organization, right? What was the topic?
The software industry.
Yeah, the software industry for ages 8 and up. So when we talk about that, we'll talk about this. But this sloka is very important because it talks about the qualities that the human being should demonstrate. And see, even the vice president of United States is named Kamala. See, so that shows the importance of Kamala. What is the national flower of India? Doesn't
The
know.
lotus.
The lotus, right? See, lotus, because it's our ethos. We want to be like lotus. Yeah, culture.
Like ethics,
Yeah.
right and wrong.
Yeah. So, and in fact, many states in India, in addition to being a national flower, lotus is also the state flower for many states, like for Andhra Pradesh, from where we are originally from, right? So the state flower is lotus. Similarly, for many other states, the state flower is lotus. And some parties, like the ruling party today in India, Bharatiya Janata Party, the symbol is a lotus flower. And often we see that God is holding a lotus flower, like you see that picture, God is holding a lotus flower, or the God is shown as sitting on the lotus flower. What is the
Yeah, Saraswati.
Saraswati Devi, Brahma, Lakshmi Devi? They are all sitting on the
But
lotus.
isn't separating a lotus from the water bad for the lotus?
Yeah.
Then why would they carry around a lotus?
Well, they have the Panchabhutas in them, God, right? So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. God
Yeah.
is the meaning of that. So.
Yeah.
And
So-
isn't in some cultures, isn't the lotus a symbol of prosperity and good luck?
Yes, in a lot of cultures. See, most of the cultures evolved from the Sanatana Dharma, right? That is why it's called Sanatana Dharma.
Eternal.
Though they do not give credit to the Sanatana Dharma, a lot of cultural habits, the languages themselves, they evolved from the Sanatana Dharma. We already saw how a lot of language, the words are so common between Sanskrit and other languages, right? Similarly, the cultural aspects, a lot of them came from the Sanatana Dharma. So the significance of lotus, like the Baha'i faith. In India, there's a big temple called the Baha'i temple. Long back, that was a monument that everyone would want to visit. Like when we went to the industrial tour, though it was an industrial tour, when I was an undergrad student, we visited the Baha'i temple. I mean, at least some of us visited the Baha'i temple.
Why in industry though?
No. What I mean to say is Baha'i faith. It's a faith in itself. It's a religion in itself. It's separate from the Sanatana Dharma. But their temple looks like a lotus. It was a monument.
One of my classmates did a project on a temple that looks like a lotus. It had real water and everything.
Yeah, the Baha'i temple is like that. And Buddhism, Jainism, whether they give credit to Sanatana Dharma or not, the main concept is from the Sanatana Dharma. The lotus, the concept of lotus. So lotus is very important. So let us go back to our human life. So why do we get attached? What makes you get attached to the actions or to the results? First thing is, let us understand the nature of attachment. When do you say that you are attached to something?
When you've done something for a long time.
And when you like it and don't want to let go.
Don't want to let go. Just because you do it for a long time does not mean that you're attached, right?
Yeah.
See, like Buddha was meditating for a long time. He was not attached to it. And
sometimes doing something for a long time can actually make you not attached. It can make you bored of it and want to let go.
yeah, so So doing something for a long time does not really mean attachment. It could cause attachment, but not always, right? But yeah, that's a good thought. So yes, well, like you said the word like. So that like, when you like something, or when you, the opposite of it, when you dislike something, you're getting attached. Even when you dislike something, you get attached to it, not just liking.
How?
Because you're giving it a leg up, a boost from others.
You take an example. What is something that you don't like?
Doing hard
Vegetables.
work.
Okay, doing hard work.
Vegetables.
Okay, so let us take this example. Doing hard work, you don't like, right?
Yeah.
Now, when somebody asks you to do some work, you don't feel like doing it,
Yeah.
and you feel like crying. You don't.
Yeah.
Somebody, if it is coming your way, you feel like crying. That is the nature of attachment. Attachment causes pain.
You're so bent against it instead
Yeah.
of towards
Like
it.
that's why they say love is like bad.
Yeah, love, hate, like, dislike, favorite, not favorite. All these are really
Best,
very bad
worst.
things. Best, worst.
So you don't need opinions.
You need to have opinion. You
Oh,
need
yeah.
to you need to make your opinions. You need to show discretion, but you should not get attached to it. See, you said you don't like hard work. Instead of saying you don't like hard work, just say, just be detached. So what's the way to stay detached?
Well, when you're a baby, the way to do that is just like not knowing about it.
Or
So
maybe
just think that it is something in life that you have to bear with.
just don't think about it too much.
Yeah, don't think about it too much. So another example is, suppose so I'll generalize your comment. You said hard work is difficult, right? So let us generalize it to the word pain. No one likes pain, right?
Right.
But suppose you have to be in pain. So, when people grow up, they have to be in pain.
Even when they're little, when they get flu shots and stuff like that.
No, flu shot is just for a minute or two. But there are some people who are always in pain. Can you tell me one such condition?
Like if you have a disease or something.
Headache, like headache and back pain.
Yeah, not headache. Headache will go away after some time, but back pain. So back pain is an example that some people are living with forever, for life.
Really?
Yeah.
When you break something.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you don't walk properly, then your vertebrae can get tilted. They get disaligned, misaligned. Yeah, the vertebrae can move a little bit. And what is in the middle of the vertebrae? The spinal cord. And then there are so many nerve endings which are attached to the spinal cord, right?
So the nerve.
Then the nerves will feel the pain. The nerves get compressed.
Can the nerves move? Like.
Yeah, nerves
And then
move.
what makes
Nerves.
you feel.
Yeah, nerves make you feel.
Oh right.
So when they get compressed, when the bones move and they compress, the pain is there. Anyway, that's a different story. But there are some conditions which people have to live with. The other condition is arthritis. People with pain in the knees, pain in the bones, they have to live with it. The other condition is calcium deposits.
And diseases.
Huh?
Diseases.
Seizures?
Diseases.
Diseases. Diseases not always cause pain, but sometimes, yes, they could cause pain. But there are some constant painful conditions.
And discomfort.
Discomforts. Now, if you get attached to that pain, if you say, I hate pain, I dislike pain, what will happen?
Well, you never get over it.
You never get over it. You're right. You keep on crying. You compare that person to a person who is unattached to pain. This person doesn't say, I hate pain. I dislike pain. This person is simply indifferent.
Like
This
Buddha.
person,
Like Buddha.
yeah, like Buddha.
Basically,
So this person thinks that it is just a condition. It's just like another condition.
nothing to worry about.
Yeah, nothing to worry about. Right? So that is the difference between attachment and detachment. The person who thinks that it is just a matter of life and does not dislike or hate or love or dislove or love, what is it, like and things like that. When the person does not have those kind of words to describe certain condition, they're unattached or detached. When the person uses this kind of phrases a lot, favorite, love. See, in Western, I should not be saying, I am not demeaning anyone or anything, but the problem of drug abuse and um, substance abuse and all that stuff is common when in cultures where these words are very commonly used: favorite, like, love, hate, dislike. When these words are commonly used, you will see that such people get into depression, such people get into a lot of mental problems, psychological problems. Why? It is because of the attachment. It's always a swing. So to forget that depression, to forget those the feelings, people get used to substances,
Or they cry.
bad substances.
Isn't crying the same thing?
Yeah, crying is also one other thing. Yeah, crying is a simple example, is an easier example. But there are even serious problems that people are suffering from because of the attachment. Yeah, in cultures where this favorite and for every, even the secret question is, what is your favorite food? For your password, to remember your password, you have to tell the computer what your favorite food is, or what your favorite flower is, what your favorite color is,
Who's your best friend?
who's your best friend. These are all very bad for your spirit, for your soul. These not only impact the current life, but they will impact the following lives also. The impression stays in the soul.
That's why they use it, don't they? Because your favorite food will always be your favorite, whether in this life or next life, in the next 100 years. Or,
Right. Small kids, right? Small babies. You feed some things to them, they feel so excited. You feed something else to them, they don't like it. Even small babies. Why is it? It's because of their past lives. The impressions don't leave. That is the reason why you should never have. Some people are fortunate to not be born with those kind of feelings. Like my grandmother was an example. She wouldn't have that many, she wouldn't be attached so much. She wouldn't have favorites. And so I got some of those, right? Those qualities. I also don't have that many favorites or likes and dislikes. Like I am always at loss when to answer the questions for the secret questions for my password, because I don't have many favorites. I don't have many dislikes. I don't have. So attachment is a desire. Attachment is basically that like and dislike, the passion. Anything with force is attachment, right? Anything that that has force built into it. So passion is a force, right? It's a force, motivation, right? It's a force which will cause you to do certain things. It is not a good thing, though in some cultures it is encouraged. Passion is encouraged. It's short term good. Short term you do certain things, but in the long run it will cause bigger problems. Passion causes bigger problems. You should never be passionate about something. You should never. Passion is a kind of force which comes from within.
like how the eldest Pandava, Dharmaraju, how he liked playing dice and that got him into a
Yes.
lot of trouble.
Yes, that's right. That is an example of attachment. Dharmaraju was so attached to that game. His judgment got misguided because of his attachment to that game. Right? He's supposed to be, he's Dharmaraju. His decisions are supposed to be very well balanced. He's the son of Yamadharmaraju, the god of death. Right? But
Yes.
still, yeah. But still, he made a bad judgment because of his attachment to the dice, to the game of dice. So that is the reason why we should never get attached. We should recognize attachment and we should give up attachment. It will take a few lives to practice it, but the sooner the better. Right? So, how do you practice this? How do you practice selflessness? How do you practice detachment? By doing selfless deeds, right? The desire, that liking, the dislikes, they're all coming because of your attachment to the body. So when you do things which are selfless, which do not have your body, in English, self means the body. In Sanskrit, self means the soul, right? So when you say selfless in English, it means without thinking about the body. So what are certain things that you can do without thinking about the body?
Well, I suppose like good things.
Giving up some of the wants of your body. Like, why do people fast? In almost every culture in this world, people fast for something or the other. In Sanatana Dharma, fasting is suggested for many things, on many occasions.
But don't some people also do that for their body? Make it more healthier and
Yeah, there are some health benefits too, but it is not just the health, the reason for which fasting is observed. See, it is a religious practice. So if it was just a healthy practice, then religion would not have entered, right? It is beyond religion. It is beyond health that the reason for fasting. Fasting kills the attachment to your body. So one of the things that you long for, that you love, that you like is the food, at least some form of the food, right? So giving up on the food, and we all live for food, right? So giving up on that food will cause detachment. Similarly, giving up on the comfort feeling of the body, like by physical exercise. Physical exercise is another good way for detachment. Another is to give up on pleasures of the world. See, some people, you're attending those classes, right? The Dharmadi class and all that. There are some pracharaks. See, like the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, was a pracharak once upon a time. So pracharaks give up their family life, and their sole aim is to serve the people, not their people, again, not their mom, their sisters, their children, not that way. Pracharaks serve the mankind in general.
Shouldn't they like not have a wife or have
Yeah, they don't marry.
Isn't
the
Mother
Pracharak-
Teresa like that?
Yeah, Mother Teresa is like that. Yeah, Mother Teresa is an example. But yeah, in most cultures there are examples like this. Almost every culture, giving up on. See, like one of my friends or colleagues, I don't want to name the particular faith, but he used to say that in that faith, they believe in pain all the time. He used to say that, see, my faith makes me to be in pain all the time.
That's the only way you get stronger.
That is his perception, but it is not true. What is true is it is helping you to become strong in many ways.
Like an enemy.
It is helping you to become detached. It is helping you to become stronger physically. It is helping you to become stronger mentally, and so on. That is the way you should look at it. Almost every faith, every religion has these kind of principles, but Sanatana is thousands and thousands of years old. Right?
Like an enemy.
It's timeless.
Like an enemy should be a best friend, because an enemy is the only thing that can make you tough.
That's right, exactly. Right. Just because somebody is opposing you all the time, you don't have to hate that person.
That person should be your best friend almost.
Yeah, you should, in fact, yeah, that's right. See, your teacher keeps on criticizing you, at least in India, right? When I was a student. So for some bad students, teacher was a terror. The teacher would keep on criticizing, saying bad things, and sometimes even beating the student. But still, they were respected. By culture, teachers were respected. Although they used to shout and they used to give all sorts of punishments, they used to criticize, they were respected. Why? Because teachers used to be the best friends. Teachers are the best friends. You have to think of them as helping you.
Like parents.
Yeah, like parents. So you have to develop that kind of attitude. That kind of attitude helps you stay detached and helps you judge things correctly in the right perspective. So doing more selfless deeds is one way to get away from attachment. So the more we do selfless deeds, the more we get rid of the effect of our actions. Because when there's no self, our actions are pure. In Punjabi, it's called Khalsa. So Khalsa means purity. So purity is stressed a lot in most cultures. So abandoning the result. In one of the previous slokas, we talked about karmanyadhaya ma phaleshu kadachana. So abandoning the result of action is a way to detachment. So they're all linked. You get into one good thing, everything good happens. Right? So staying detached, abandoning the result is equivalent of staying detached. And so just like we take bath every day to purify body and get rid of invisible viruses, right? Why do you take bath? Yesterday I went outside for something for the place, and I took a shower immediately. Why? To kill the viruses. So just like bath is important to purify your body and get rid of invisible viruses, dirt, bacteria. This is all invisible, right? The viruses you can't see with your eye. The bacteria you cannot see with your eye. The dirt you cannot see with your eye. We do this every day. We take bath every day. Just like that, we need to purify. More important, not just like that, but more important than purifying your body is to purify your mind and the heart of these viruses. What are the viruses? They are the greed, they are the desire, they are the anger, and all kinds of attachments, all other kinds of attachments. They are viruses. Why?
Yeah, there was an ad about drugs, and at the end of the ad it said mood swings, which is like
Mood swings, right?
right.
Yeah. So you have to stay. They are basically like viruses. All these attachments are viruses. They grow. They just like the viruses grow using your own energy. Your own body is being used to grow for the viruses to grow and attack you. The same thing is this attachment does to you. The attachment grows in your body, uses your own resources to hurt you more and more and more and more. So every day you should practice a selfless deed. You should practice yoga. Anything physical is good because you're able to tolerate. You're able to, your body, you're detaching yourself from the pain. When you're physical, you're detaching yourself from the pain. So these kind of practices are very important to do every day, just like you take bath every day and preferably as many times as possible in a day. Bath just once is enough, or maybe a few times is enough. But purifying your heart and mind is many, many times more important, right? See, today a lot of bad things are happening in society. Marriages are breaking. Marriage is a unit of, I call marriage as a unit of civilization, right? We are all in a civilization because of marriage, not because of something else.
Or else there wouldn't be families.
Yeah, see, that's how the kids are growing up to be good citizens. They are growing in good families with good values, and they're growing to be good citizens. When the family is broken, it's all gone, right? So today the problem is at a very deep level. It's at the very root of civilization. The problems are at the very root of civilization. This way of consumerism, this style of having favorites, desires, likes and dislikes, and this way of giving too much importance to individuality, to your individual freedom. These are all bad in the long run. These are bad for the society. Sacrifice. Our culture, the Sanatana Dharma, teaches sacrifices, teaches selflessness, teaches that the common good is more important than the individual good. See, I used to be a part of a Toastmasters Club, and one of the topics that was brought up for extempo speaking was extempo speaking means you're not given time to think, you have to talk immediately. They are called table topics. So one of the topics that was given was
The debate almost.
yeah, it's like a debate. So the topic was, do you have to follow passion, or do you have to follow? No, I think the topic was whether science STEM subjects. So today's STEM subjects are not popular, right? I mean, many students are not taking. So should you take STEM subjects because it is needed, or should you just follow your passion and do arts and things like that? Something like that was there. So everyone said, if your passion is not in STEM, do not take STEM subjects. But I argued the other way. I took the other stand and told that I was the only person, in fact, who said that the common good should prevail over the individual good. Your likes and dislikes should be subdued by the likes, the wants and needs of the society. The society needs STEM engineers to solve challenging problems in the world. So we should get over our personal feelings, we should get over our passion, and we should do what is good for the world. And that is the culture in Asia. That is the reason why most of the STEM engineers, STEM people in STEM are from Asia, originally from Asia. In any country today in the world, people excelling in STEM are from Asia, right? There are a lot of, not that other countries, ethnicities are not doing well, but there are a lot of Asians who are excelling in STEM. Why? Because of the culture. Our culture says that you have to sacrifice your individual passions for the world good. That is a Sanatana. That is what Sanatana Dharma preaches us. And many people knowingly or unknowingly following Sanatana Dharma today. Right? So it is very important to keep purifying yourself. So I know we don't have time to talk about machine learning today, but if you take computers, machines, they also do lots and lots of karma, right? Lots and lots of action. But do they get attached? Do they say, oh, it is too difficult, I don't want to do it?
Is that why they do meditation?
Yeah, meditation also increases detachment. See, in meditation, what you do is you focus on something that is insignificant, that is the least significant in your life. What is the thing that is least significant in your life, which you don't even care for, but which is in fact the essence of your life?
Your soul.
Soul, and what else?
Your kind of your body.
Yeah, soul is one
Consciousness.
thing, consciousness, soul. And there's something very physical, which is very essential to your
You
body.
like it?
Your
No,
mind,
physical.
your heart.
Your breath.
Oh, when they say turn your attention to your breath.
Yeah, breath is it's called prana, right? In Sanskrit, it is called prana, means life. Breath is your life, but you hardly pay attention to breath.
Right.
So that is the reason why in meditation you are asked to focus on your inside. That is the soul, the heart, the mind. They're all inside, right? Heart, soul, mind. They stem from inside. And breath. These are the things you ignore. You consider it as insignificant. When your entire attention is focused to the most insignificant that you perceive, then nothing matters to you, right? When the most insignificant thing becomes the most important, all other significant things become immaterial, right? So that is how meditation helps. And similarly, we talk about machine learning. Today we don't have time, but machines, computers do a lot of action, but they don't get attached. They don't refuse to do what is good, or they don't say, oh, this is not something of my liking, so I don't want to do. They don't do that. They don't. I mean, one of the reasons that is true, because they don't have discretion. We are given a very powerful tool called discretion, but unfortunately, we are turning that discretion against ourselves. We are losing. In fact, we are losing our discretion. Whenever we do something bad, we are giving up on discretion, right? You're giving up on what is good for the society, what is good for you, and doing something that is good for your body. You're basically losing your discretion. So yeah, we have to learn to use discretion correctly. So body should be in our control, in the control of the soul, not the other way around. The soul should not be in the control of the body, but the body should be in the control of the soul. Then life proceeds correctly. Right? So that is the message of this sloka. So all these attributes that we talked today are in the lotus. That is why so many people are named after lotus, so that they'll exhibit the qualities of lotus. Okay? Any questions?
No.
So this is one of the most important slokas of Bhagavad Gita. You should remember.
Is the lotus mentioned in any other shlokas?
Yeah, it keeps coming. Yeah, lotus. I think in the previous one or more of the previous slokas also we had Kamala, lotus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So lotus is very important. Buddhism, Jainism, in many cultures, lotus is very important because of its characteristics. It does not get attached to however dirty the water is, however muddy the water is. Lotus does not become muddy. Lotus does not become dirty. That is a characteristic that we should develop. So when we call somebody Lotus, Kamala, or Pankaj, Neeraj, the expectation is that we remember the meaning of that name. So we should remember that lotus means detachment. But unfortunately, today that is not happening for various reasons. Nobody practices the meanings. First thing is they don't even remember the meanings. And even if they remember, they don't practice. But we should get back those habits, right? So whenever next time when you call somebody Aravind, Pankaj, Kamal, Neeraj, Ambuja, Saroja, you remember this meaning, right? Then when you remember the meaning, you are subconsciously telling yourself, I want to be like Lotus. I want to be detached. That is the idea of naming people. See, like I was named Vishnu. Why? Because my grandmother thought that she will get punya by calling my name.
I
Right?
see.
Yeah, if you keep saying Vishnu, Krishna, you get punya. So that was one of the reasons. Okay, so this is a very important sloka. Okay, I think we are over time, so let's conclude our class, our session with our prayer. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Shanti 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 Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Santu